Shortly after the Iowa caucuses, just a few days before the New Hampshire primary, Ron DeSantis called it quits.
Following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
Nikki Haley said, "May the best woman win." Now, Trump, meantime, is confused, repeatedly saying Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, Nikki Haley, when he means Nancy Pelosi.
You know, when she comes here, she gets like 9 people, and the press never reports the crowds, you know. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, whatever they want. They turned it down. They don't want to talk about that. These are very dishonest people.
And what's odd, too, is that he's repeating a lie about Nancy Pelosi. So it's really crazy. Nikki Haley commented on this Trump soundbite.
Last night, Trump is at a rally. And he's going on and on mentioning me multiple times as to why I didn't take security during the Capitol riots. Why I didn't handle January 6th better. I wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. I wasn't in office then. They're saying he got confused, that he was talking about something else. He was talking about Nancy Pelosi. He mentioned me multiple times in that scenario. The concern I have is, I'm not saying anything derogatory, but when you're dealing with the pressures of a presidency, we can't have someone else that we question whether they're mentally fit to do this. We can't.
And she's just saying he's old. It's only January, and the Republican Party is not merely dead, like the wicked old witch in The Wizard of Oz. The Republican Party is really most sincerely dead. We will see if Nikki Haley gets a bump from DeSantis quitting. I'm Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman Podcast. Please subscribe. Please follow me on TikTok, on YouTube. Google me, look for my stuff, and subscribe. I need your support. One quick update on the Fani Willis, quote, inappropriate relationship with a special prosecutor story. Fulton County DA Fani Willis did not have to appear in a Cobb County courtroom today, Monday. She was subpoenaed to appear in the divorce case for her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. But she asked for a pass, and the judge agreed that at least temporarily she will not have to testify yet. I don't know how it's going to wind up. But in the meantime, the divorce judge in that divorce case also decided to release all of the Wades, Nathan Wade and his wife, all of their divorce papers. So the wife is accusing Fani Willis of being involved in her divorce, yada, yada. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Meantime, legal experts are saying that whatever happens with these allegations, the case is not in trouble. The case is still strong. The case can also change the special prosecutor. Fani Willis can be removed from the case, or she can step back. So there are ways to handle this. If there is something, I don't know if there is, but this is a strong case according to legal experts. I just listened to one, and it will go on no matter what. We'll see, and I'll keep you posted. Meantime, Trump was scheduled to testify today, Monday, in the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial, but a juror called in sick. So the judge postponed the trial until Wednesday. So that means Trump can be in New Hampshire tomorrow for the New Hampshire primary and still make the trial on Wednesday. But if his lawyers are smart, they will not let him testify because he has a big fat mouth and he always gets himself in trouble. And meantime, the New York Times is reporting that even though he's not testifying today, he keeps posting about E. Jean Carroll like crazy. And that they clocked it. They counted the number of posts. In one afternoon, he posted 40 times about E. Jean Carroll. 40 times. Also going on in New Hampshire, dirty tricks. And I want to bring this up because we can just brace ourselves, my friends, for more of this. Apparently, enemies of the Democratic Party have created a robocall. Sounds like it's President Joe Biden telling voters in New Hampshire not to vote.
It's important that you save your vote for the November election.
It sounds like Joe Biden. It is not Joe Biden. Everybody beware. It's going to get worse.
Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again.
So as promised, I'm going to share part of an article that was published in the Washington Post. The article is called "The Last Remnants of the Republican Party Died in Iowa." And I was so shocked, not shocked, but impressed by how good the writing in this article is and how right on it is. It's written by Dana Milbank. He's one of the writers that I follow in the Washington Post. And he talks about visiting Iowa and as a reporter and following Trump and be there on the campaign trail. And some of what he talks about here was at Simpson College, south of Des Moines. Dateline, Indianola, Iowa. Quote, "They lined up for hours, some of them in the minus 38-degree wind chill, to see their candidate. It was the only rally Donald Trump was giving in the state in the days before Monday's caucuses. So for the MAGA faithful, this was the golden ticket." I've got a golden ticket. For the lucky 500 Trump followers admitted to the event space, the Trump campaign played a video reminding voters that Trump had already come in first place in the God primary. All right, and so now Milbank quotes the video. But since I had a hold of it, I'm just going to play it because wow. But he reads the video, and I'm just going to play it for you.
On June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, "I need a caretaker." So God gave us Trump. God said, "I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists, eat supper, then go to the Oval Office and stay past midnight at a meeting of the heads of state." So God made Trump. "I need somebody with arms, strong enough to rustle the deep state, and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to ruffle the feathers, tame cantankerous World Economic Forum, come home hungry, have to wait until the First Lady is done with lunch with friends, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it." So God gave us Trump.
I couldn't believe it when I watched the video. I just could not believe it. So back to the article. Then Milbank writes, quote, "And it came to pass a few minutes later that this midwife turned prophet took the stage in the ballroom, and he spake thus to his flock." The next couple of paragraphs are all just Trump quotes. So just know that I'm going to be reading what Milbank wrote, but it's all Trump quotes, so it's all in quotes. Quote, "We've got a crooked country run by stupid people, corrupt, incompetent, the worst." Trump, in the gospel according to Trump, was the victim of hoaxes, witch hunts, lies, fake indictments, judges who are animals, a rigged election, rigged indictments, a rigged Department of Justice, where we have a radical left, bad people, lunatics. The nation's capital, Washington, D.C., is a, quote, rat-infested, graffiti-infested shithole, he said, with swastikas all over the national monuments. His opponents, the prophet Trump continued, are Marxists, communists, fascists, liars, cheaters, thugs, perverts, frauds, crooks, creeps, freaks, warmongers, and globalists. Immigrants are a vicious snake whose bite is poison. And he told them there is an invasion at the border by terrorists, jailbirds, drug lords. Our country is dying, he informed them. And by the way, you're very close to World War III. Have a nice day. So the World War III is Trump saying it, and then have a nice day is Milbank. Have a nice day! Exclamation point. Back to Milbank, quote, it was, in short, a slightly updated version of the rage, paranoia, victimhood, lies, and demonization that propelled Trump's popularity over the last 8 years. Yet there was something else Trump said in his appearance here at Simpson College south of Des Moines that I'm sorry to say seems reasonably accurate. Quote, MAGA is taking over, he told his chilled but enraptured supporters. On the fake news, they say MAGA represents 44% of Republicans. No. MAGA represents 95% of the Republican Party. Milbank writes, his numbers may be off, but the observation is true. Iowa's Republican presidential caucuses on Monday night were an overwhelming triumph for Trump, who in early results was more than 30 points ahead of the nearest competitor and getting more votes than the rest of the field combined. The voters had shown that there essentially is no Republican other than a MAGA Republican. Trump's opponents deserve partial blame for that, for failing to take him on more directly. But some of their candidacies in tone and substance offer real alternative to Trump's rage-filled nativism. The ominous truth is there just wasn't an appetite in the electorate for a non-Trumpian candidate. In Iowa and probably elsewhere, alas, they are all MAGA Republicans now. Then he goes on to talk about Nikki Haley. And he says, her challenges to the front runner are timid. And he quotes her, I think President Trump was the right president for the right time. I agree with a lot of his policies. She assures every audience, but rightly or wrongly, chaos has followed him. And then Milbank writes, chaos follows Trump through no fault of his own. Oh, fault of his own? Exclamation point. Then he quotes Haley some more. You deserve an America without drama. You deserve an America that's better than whether you have a couple of 80-year-olds running for president. Was as tough a critique as she offered, because she slams Biden there as well. And then he goes on to praise Haley about some of her campaigning and slam Trump for his racist comments and how we're pretty much holding our breath, waiting for him to begin attacking Haley for her background and her culture. But that's a whole nother podcast. So we'll get to that when we get to that. She points out that she polls better against Biden than the others, and it's true. Were she the nominee, Republicans would likely win the presidency in a landslide. But this Republican electorate wants something different, They want a guy who talks about being a dictator one day, who echoes Hitler in his rhetoric about ethnic minorities, demands absolute immunity from legal liability, and threatens bedlam if he's prosecuted. They want a guy who, after all these years, still derides Barack Hussein Obama and Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren, as he did in Indianola on Sunday. They want a guy who threatens, as president, to direct a complete overhaul of DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control prosecutor because of their illegal, racist, and then he does ellipse, enforcement of the law. And they want a man who promises, quote, "We will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmonger. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that truly hates our country. We will rout the fake news media. And we will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House." The crowd, in their MAGA caps and Trump 47 jerseys, cheered their candidate and broke into spontaneous chants of Trump and USA. Let there be no more excuses, Milbank writes, that Republican voters haven't been given an alternative. They had a choice, and they chose Trump. End quote. The article is much longer than this, but that's how he wraps it up. And it's great. It's great. I will include the link in the description. I just want to say that since DeSantis dropped out, it seems like there's some excitement about Haley. It seems that even the right-wing channel is giving her some credit. Now, this can turn on a dime, as we all know. And Trump hasn't started attacking her the way he has attacked others. But believe me, he will. He's desperate because of all of these trials and court cases. And one of the big cases is the immunity case. And Trump keeps talking about that on the campaign trail. And that decision from the Court of Appeals could come this week. So I'm watching that closely. And as soon as it happens, I will post it. Once that decision occurs, it will be appealed to the Supreme Court. But here's the thing. I've been reading about this, and the Supreme Court doesn't have to take the case. The Supreme Court can just let the appeals court decision stand. So that trial, which is a January 6th trial in Washington, is on hold right now. So as soon as that decision is made, I'll let you know. So that's what's going on in the political world. A lot, okay? A lot is going on. And so much, I can't cover it all, but I'm trying. So please follow me. Please subscribe. Please be here for me, and I'll try to be here for you. The cat and the dog are fighting, and that is my life. And my grandchildren, it's my grandson's birthday tomorrow. You hear the dog? Stop it! I'm Gloria Moraga, political woman. Be safe.